I think they wasn't ready for such a situation in their life, but my mother don't really can accept it, and she always was against my decision to go Japan to marry Japanese guy. 皆さんこんにちは、あやです。2年前にロシアから来ました。今日本語を勉強します。よろしくお願いします。I was born in Moscow, so I spent in Moscow almost all my life, 22 years. 2 years ago, I come to Japan. For now, I live in Fukuoka. I married Japanese man. First of all, I started interested in Japan when I started watch anime. My first anime was Sailor Moon, some Ghibli. It was like 中学生. I started watch anime. I liked anime and Japanese culture. 日本料理がめっちゃ好きです。モスクワでよく日本のレストランに行ってラーメンとかたい焼きとか寿司、そばとか好きになりました。But I never tried to learn Japanese language or I never wanted to go Japan. Difficult to find work for me. I didn't finish my university graduation. I didn't have any chance to go to Japan. Only go study, but I didn't have such many money for studying in Japan. Kinda expensive. So never think I can come to Japan ever. When I was like 20 years old, I became interested in Asian face. I like how Asian face looks like. Girls and boys really like style. I wanted to be similar to them. I told my friends at that time I wanna make some Chinese friends or Korean friends or Japanese, but I know in Russia for now almost there isn't Japanese people or Korean people. There is some Chinese. I think abroad people scared of Russia for now. 戦争から嫌な感じすると思います。That's why I think maybe I can make some Chinese friends. I was in dating app and here I met my Chinese friend. At the same time, I also met my future husband. It was like a miracle. At that time, my future husband sent me a message about he wanna know about Russia, but actually he was in Japan. In this app, here was like 7,000 kilo between me and him. I additionally couldn't know we can dating, of course, marriage. I couldn't imagine such a thing. We started to talk to each other a lot in Instagram. Always we talk in English. So many translators for understand each other, and it was really interesting and something new for me. I can say I had some impression about my future husband when we talk to each other by just message. And when first time we call to each other by phone, by video call, I understand Japanese really shy, even more than me. I think I am really a shy person. But my future husband was even more shy than me. I can't understand why, but I was really surprised. My real impression about him was our first meeting. And our first meeting was not in Japan and not in Russia, it was Egypt. A really funny and maybe a bit crazy story. Our TikTok and the Reels Instagram was really popular. It's a really interesting story, I think, how we met. When we met first time in Egypt, I was thinking like what should we do with our relationships, because for me it's difficult to keep always long distance relationships. I'm in Russia, he's in Japan, and we can meet only like 2 or 3 times a year. And actually it's really expensive to go abroad such many times a year. I was thinking what should we do? We talk to each other, so I suggest I want to live together with him, but it's really difficult to do. It's easy to say, but really difficult to do it. How we can live together? My future husband have work in Japan, and I don't know Japanese. Difficult to get visa to Japan for Russian people, especially because of war. It's became more difficult. So we was thinking what should we do about visa, who should come, which one country. We decide Japan is more good for now, at least because in Russia not really good situation about war. We was thinking about like study, work visa, and marriage visa. But first of all, marriage is really difficult decision, and you should think a lot about it. You should be sure, do you really want to marry such a fast? Because we met each other only just after half of a year after we started dating. We didn't want to break up. We wanted to keep our relationships. There wasn't many options to how we can be together. And marriage visa for Japan was actually most comfortable. I can work as much as I need in Japan. I can study here, I can live here. It was really, of course, scary, and we was worried about should we actually do it. We decided to already prepare documents, and when I come to Japan, we gonna live to each other for like 3 months. What I have my visa, and we should decide, do we really want to marry each other? Can we live together? Is it comfortable for us? We didn't completely decide at that time we're gonna marry, but we was preparing everything, every documents, and prepare our thinking, our mind. We can marry each other. At the end, already 2 years we married, and tomorrow will be our anniversary actually. When I told my parents I gonna meet some Japanese guy in Egypt, they was really worried. I think they wasn't ready for such a situation in their life. Of course, I didn't know we're gonna marry, so I just said we're gonna meet, we're gonna hang out together, and that's all. And after all, when we decided to marry each other and I decided to go to Japan, I told my parents about it, and they really wasn't happy about it. My father, I think, could accept it, even he maybe don't like or he don't really care, I'm not sure, just he can accept my choice. But my mother don't really can accept it, and she always was against my decision to go Japan, to marry a Japanese guy. I think some Russian old people don't really like Asian nationality, because many Asian from nearby countries come to Russia and work here, but they do their work really not good, and they do many crime. They don't care Russian culture, and they are really rude for Russian, so many Russians don't like this Asian. Even actually some part of Russia is Asia. In Russia, old people don't like Asians, so maybe my parents also wasn't really glad I gonna marry Asian person. Maybe if it's European person, maybe they will be more glad, but it's shogunai. I made my choice by myself and I didn't want to change it because my parents' opinion. Now I am actually not sure. I can't ask directly my parents, are you really glad I married Japanese? But when I send some pics, they have normal reaction like nice, okay, something like this. My friends, almost everyone go abroad at that time because of war. Actually, I became really lonely in Moscow because I didn't have any friends already. My friend was Chinese girl, one Russian girl was abroad. So when I told them, they was really surprised, but I think they was more glad and was really interested what's gonna happen. My sister also was really interested about our story. I think for her it was like watching some interesting movie. My surrounding was more loyal than my parents, and they wanted to know more details, something like, please tell me, I wanna know this, I wanna know this, why you decide, how is this guy, is he a good person, is he kind, is he beautiful, something like this. Good things about we married to Japanese guy is I can live in Japan, first of all. Because he's Japanese, I can stay this really beautiful country. This is maybe most cool part of my life for now, because I really like to live in Japan. Of course, I miss Russian nature, Russian food, but really like Japanese style, Japanese nature. So it's really good about marry a Japanese person. Actually, not really big difference between Japanese person, Russian person. Maybe with other country here is more difference, but me and my husband not really different. Maybe that's why we can dating and marry each other. We can have relationships because we're pretty similar. But for example, in Japan, not really good and weird if men don't have any work and he don't work at all. But in Russia, suddenly it became really popular and became kind of normal. I don't know why, but even I know such a case like woman working, women care about kids, like take from school, do homework with kids, do housework, cleaning, cooking, and husband only like lay on sofa and watching TV or hang out with his friends and drink beer. About Japan, it's I think pretty weird, such a life, not really normal how it became in Russia, so I can say it's also a good thing about marry Japanese person. At least he understands work and money is important thing for our life. Maybe that's all. My life completely changed actually. Just I became already used to it. But if compare my life in Moscow and my life in Fukuoka now, I prefer live in Japan more than in Russia. It is because it's more comfortable. Japan is more loyal to people actually. It's more comfortable to live in apartment, more comfortable to go some trip, make some food. Actually, you can buy many useful stuff in supermarket, but Russian cuisine needs really long time for make it actually if compared to Japanese. I try to speak Japanese. I go study twice a week, volunteer, and my husband's mother also come to talk to me, to study some book, to read, or just hang out with me, learn different language. It's really difficult for me, and I didn't used to such a life because I used to live in culture what I know and speak language what I know. But just for now I need to go somewhere. I even know how to use, for example, bus, what kind of system here, what kind of card. Really many different things about Japanese culture, Japanese daily life. So my life really changed. After 2 years, I think I can say I became used to Japanese style, Japanese 生活ってなしですね。日本人の友達を作りたいです。Of course, I want to get some work what I can be proud of, not just everyday go company office, every day became tired and rest all weekends. I like to make something by myself. I hope someday I gonna have good work. At least I do TikTok and Instagram, and we gonna start our YouTube channel soon. I wanna be a creator if it's possible. So I should more study Japanese, and it's also I want to know Japanese language more. I should start to talk more fluently in Japanese. For now I can understand like 40% of speech, but still actually it's not enough for I can speak by myself and not be rude, because in Japanese culture it's really important to be polite, and here is many nuance about level of your politeness. So I wanna speak Japanese as soon as possible. I'm very happy. He is a really good person. I love him, so because of he I can be here, and he did really many things for us, and still he doing really many things. I appreciate my husband from the beginning, and I'm gonna appreciate him always. I hope they're gonna accept. Thank you so much for watching our video. If you have some question, you can ask it below, we're gonna reply. And we have our Instagram and our TikTok. If you're interested in our story, you can see it and look into it. And actually soon we're gonna make our YouTube channel. So, пока-пока!